so niching down and doubling and tripling down where you have success just allows you to have those repeatable conversations. And I think also just from the revenue growth perspective, you can do very well in small industries, particularly if you can just go dominate that industry and just be the person that's known in that industry, because then you start getting, and I haven't gotten this yet, but I've seen it before. Other startups have been at, like, where you just get the word of mouth recurring, like all of a sudden you're just getting all of these people, they're telling their friends, and you just get into this world of very,
Everybody knows you.
yeah, everybody knows you. And then it's
Mhm.
okay to pivot out of that, or not pivot out, but to expand out on that and go someplace else and do the same thing and just repeat that around all these industries that you feel like you can tackle. But you can't, in my opinion, you can't be everything to everybody unless you have just a product that solves the problem that so many people have that's just industry agnostic, right? I look at
Yeah,
like a cursor like tool, right? Like a code generation tool. Like that's industry agnostic, right? But it's just like you're just selling to a person who's like writing code who wants to use a tool that maybe can expedite some of the code writing and I can just go back in and fix the issues of it. But when you're really
true.
stuff, it's rare that you find that, in my opinion.
I think that's one way to look at it. Absolutely. Cursor is a very broad tool. Same with Windsurf, very similar tool. I used Cursor. I switched to Windsurf. I think you could argue that yes, while it is broad, they have a very specific niche, which is idiots like myself that don't know how to code that want to code. Right. So I don't know if they would exactly describe it that in that way, but I don't know if they're necessarily targeting. Maybe Cursor is maybe targeting engineers more broadly, but I suspect they have some like very specific stacks they're very good at, and like they're probably not targeting folks that are doing like deep backend system level work.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's just more of the way I've seen people who are strong coders just use it as a way to expedite building out something small that's like very defined that it can handle. I just use that as, I think people think about there's just like a software engineer layer across the world that is just writing code. But it's a good point. I think they even have a target market. And I'll say something else that I learned a long time ago. It's very valuable, in my opinion, to make, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, people who aren't that smart smarter, right? Like I'm not
Mhm.
a coder, but I can use Cursor to knock out a bunch of stuff pretty quickly
Mhm.
that is, very basic, but I all of a sudden seem very smart and feel very smart. But it's not going to help the top tier engineer really get much better at coding. It might help them expedite some little nuanced things, but
Mhm.
that's a valuable place to be, or making people that aren't great in something really good at it in their mind.